From the Ganyu world to the world of dreams and nightmares, welcome everybody to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present the pilot episode of Kamen Rider Zeztz. Yuya, everybody involved in this project, give yourself a round of applause because your pilot episode knocked it out of the park. A lot of people online are singing its praises, saying that it's one of the best pilots so far, and I have to agree. It led me to wanting more, and Yuya, gave tribute to, movies and TV shows like Nightmare on Elm Street, James Bond, a Kamen Rider here and there. This is literally what I got from James Bond meets Freddy Kruger. And I have to say, wow. The only thing missing, of course, is Freddy Kruger. I want to see Kamen Rider Zeztz versus Freddy Kruger. The Dream Warrior versus Freddy. I want to see that. But obviously, it's not going to happen unless, AI comes in and just does it for me, right? But in any case, what I got from this episode is, wow, I'm really impressed. But can Yuya keep the momentum up? Because somewhere down the line, I'm afraid that Yuya is going to drop the ball. It happened with Geeks in his previous works. But I'm hoping by the time we get to next year around this time, I'm going to say, just like Gov, Geets, that, hey, it's been a great season, top 10, maybe top 5. And yeah, it's leading up to it, but it's too soon. Don't count your chickens just yet, because the pilot episode is a great, home run, there's still, 49 episodes left? And we still don't know who's going to die on Christmas, because Yuya has this thing where around Christmas time, he picks which character is quote-unquote going to die. But in Yuya's case, the character dies, and yet somehow the character is being brought back to life, just like a soap opera, right? But what I got from it, great job, great suit, and great characters. It made me not think about Gov all that much. After the pilot, I assumed everybody's like, who's a Gov? Who's Shoma? Who? Honestly, though, people who worked on this project, you did a great job. Be proud. And hopefully, the momentum keeps going. So let us begin our tale with a kidnapping, guys. That's right. You heard it right, folks. The episode begins during a middle of a kidnapping. A girl named Nem is being kidnapped by a bunch of thugs, and it's been broadcast around the world. And everybody is crying, scared, giving money to, the thugs because they have their own quote-unquote GoFundMe page. And we cut to this scene where this fan is looking at this situation on her phone, and she starts crying. Then a mysterious man shows up, does a magic trick, abracadabra, you have a handkerchief because she's crying, and tells this girl, save your tears with me. And that's the line I haven't heard of, because usually Hero says, don't cry, I will save the day, save your tears, everything is fine. But instead, entrust your tears with me. I thought it was a good line. So we go from there to the villain's hideout. Nem is tied up, and the leader is celebrating because the ransom money is up to $10 billion. And unfortunately for Nem, she's not going to make it out of this alive, because she asks, okay, now you got your money, can you let me go? But the leader said, nah, I'm still gonna kill you and take the money and run, right? And then another thug comes in, picks up a knife, and it looks like, he was about to kill her. But instead ends up freeing them from her bonds. And we get to see the reveal of Agent 7, aka Baku. And you see him all cool like James Bond. And all of a sudden he's acting cool, and then you see a piece of hair popping out from the side, and that's a nod to Kamen Rider build. And the leader's like, what the hell is happening to your hair? And Baku, Agent 7, is looking at his hair. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell's going on with my hair? Come on, I put a lot of gel. And so after that cool moment, we get to see, the opening credits during a James Bond shootout. And whoever did this was very creative. Like, it's something that I've never seen before, where you see the opening credits and the cast's name is either on a table or on a empty bullet shell. And I thought it was great. And you see the actor doing his own stunts. And, I thought it was great. And the bullets don't kill people. They just knock people out. So there's no blood and guts and all that stuff. After, saving the damsel in distress, we see Nem asking for Baku's name. And he responds with, I am Agent 7. 007, James Bond, Agent 7. And he offers her a rose, and it looked like they both were about to kiss, but then he gets a rude awakening, which we go to the next scene where you see Baku is dreaming, holding a pillow, and he looked like he was about to kiss the pillow. And the moment was ruined by his little sister Minami, and she is very upset with him because he was in charge of making breakfast. His laundry skills suck. And we get a glimpse of Baku's room, which is full of James Bond memorabilia, movies. I saw a James Bond gun. Like, he really is a super fan when it comes to James Bond. And he was telling his sister that in his dream he saved a damsel in distress, and he hopes that in the real world he gets the chance to help more people, and he wants to find a job that could let him do that. But of course, Minami is putting her foot down, that leave the saving people in your dreams, let it be there, focus on reality, and don't dream too much. Like, you're such a daydreamer. But at first, let me say this before I move forward, that Minami, at first, the way she said it, like, she appears to be like a douche, but then there's a reason why she's acting this way towards Baku. And it is the cameo that gave up the clue. Because remember, in last week's finale with Gub, when Baku gave the Kichizo that he thought belongs to him, he got electrocuted by a UFO. So I get this feeling that Minami knows about Baku's situation. That's why she's like, don't think about helping people and whatnot. Just focus on the now, find a job that is less dangerous and not be able to help people. Just, do that. And you can't help but feel bad for Baku because he really has the sense of wanting to help people. But due to his situation, which is revealed, later on or confirmed, he's been a loser all his life. He's been cursed. And so we go from his room to the city of Tokyo, where he walks around and he wants to help his sister out. He just doesn't know how, but where he's going, well, we will find out where he's going, but he's just thinking of what he can do to help his little sister out, because apparently we don't know what happened to his parents. Does he have any other family members? That sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, he gets startled by a Nem commercial. So Nem is a real woman in the real world. So obviously, he has a crush towards Nem. And so Baku is at a job agency. And as he is waiting to get his name called, you see Baku entertaining this little girl. And so after that, he goes and sees this man at the job agency and asks, what is it that you want to do? And this is where we get a nod to Kamen Rider Zeo, because if you watched Zeo, the main character says, I want to be a king when I grow up. And in this case, Baku says, I want to be a secret agent, which causes the man behind the table be like, what? A secret agent? What? And then as they were talking, we get to see the little girl getting picked up by this man who we assume to be the father, and they're both walking away outside of the job agency. And then a second later, this woman is shouting out this girl's name. She is frantically or looking for her. And Baku was like, wait a minute, did I just witness a kidnapping here? And so without thinking, he goes outside and sees this stranger, trying to kidnap this little girl. And so Baku did the next best thing and tries to save her. As he is trying to stop this kidnapper, all of a sudden we see Nox, this man in white, and says, let the nightmare begin. And mind you, Baku doesn't see this mysterious man. It looked like he is from another world. And then all of a sudden, after the Nox thing, this yellow truck out of nowhere just ran over Baku. This is where we get to see, Baku seriously injured, and you were wondering what happened to the little girl. Well, unfortunately for Baku, he never got a chance to confront the kidnapper. However, after seeing, this accident, the kidnapper runs away, and the mother is running towards her daughter, hugging her, so everything is fine there. And then this man in the trench coat is attending to Baku, yelling to everybody, can someone please call an ambulance? And then goes to the yellow truck, and opens the door and discovers that no one was inside driving it. Once again, poor Baku is trying to save somebody, help somebody, and once again, he gets physically hurt. Speaking of physically hurt, Minami is frantically, going through the halls of the hospital. And she goes inside Baku's room. And Baku, even though he is in critical condition because he got ran over by a truck, he's happy that he was able to prevent a kidnapping. But Minami is very upset that he did that because it's confirmed that this poor kid is cursed. She says that you cannot help people because ever since you were a little kid, you've been hurt mysteriously every time you help people. And apparently, according to her, the gods has forsaken him. You're cursed. You have bad juju. You're bad. You have a lot of bad juju. And Baku's like, ow, sister, why are you so blunt about this? So yes, it's confirmed that Baku has this curse. And you feel bad because, Baku is trying to live a normal life. And if he does the simplest thing, he gets hurt. So we don't know who gave him the curse or anything, or is it divine? We don't know yet, but every time he helps, he gets hurt, and Minami is upset, and you can't blame her because she is trying to prevent this from happening, but unfortunately she can't prevent Baku from helping people. She can't. And Baku, knowing him, he will help people no matter what. So it's something that Minami has to accept. But at the same time, Baku really needs to understand her because she is worried that if you end up helping someone again, it could be your last. I mean, it's understandable. So after calling him the cursed one, Juju man, bad Juju, there is a mysterious door that looked like it was made out of carbonite because you see this weird looking door with two people frozen in stone. It opens up and we go from there to the scene of the crime where we get introduced to our beloved Lobo, aka Natsuka, and the man who called the ambulance, Tetsuya. Well, I don't think he called the ambulance, but he did help Baku and attended to him until the ambulance came. So yeah, I want to make that clear. And Tetsuya apparently knows what's going on here because he is mentioning this black case, if you will, that this black case is orchestrated by these monsters called the Nightmares. And Natsuya's like, what nightmares? Because when you have someone who's telling you that I think I know what happened here and it's a phenomenon, it's monsters that are attacking people, I wouldn't be surprised that I would have been in the same shoes, like, is this man crazy? But yes, he knows that this is a nightmare's doing. And here's my question, which will get answered. How does this man know about these creatures? Did he witness his own family getting killed by these creatures? Just like Nancy with, Freddy Kruger and all that. Is Tetsuya the male version of Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street? Because remember, as I told you guys before, that this is James Bond means Nightmare on Elm Street. I wouldn't be surprised that he will be the one getting killed off on Christmas. I wouldn't be surprised because he knows something about them. But then again, you never know with Yuya because we're going to have new characters. So he could be safe, but yes. So Tetsuya is telling his new partner that this is the work of a nightmare. And speaking of nightmares, Baku gets a visit by a monster. And this monster's name is the Gun Nightmare because, I have to say, the monster looks pretty badass. And we get like a jump scare scene because Baku wakes up and this monster is literally staring at him in the face like you could even like kiss the mask, like damn, it's like up close and personal, and he gets spooked. And then he's greeted by a barrage of bullets, and poor Baku, he is yelling and screaming for help, but the hospital that he was at, there was nobody there. It's like everybody disappeared. And then all of a sudden we see scenes of him getting chased from the hospital to a scene in Tokyo, and then a scene in a random store, and then leading up to his room, and then leading up to this carbonated door that we saw earlier. He goes inside and sees the same scene from the first scene. We see Nem tied up by a bunch of thugs, if you remember, but instead of the army full of goons, you have the nightmare waiting for Baku. And this is where he realizes, Baku does, that he is dreaming. And this is where he changes from his Baku to Agent 7. And he gets his confidence back, knowing that it is his dream. He is in control. He can whip ass. So he's just, trying his best to defeat this monster. But unfortunately, somehow, the nightmare is in control, beating up Baku, and he is in disbelief as to, wait a minute, this is my dream. I should be, the expert fighter. How come this monster is throwing me like a rag doll here? And as they were fighting, we go back to the real world and we see a nod to Nightmare on Elm Street, where Baku is lifted up from his bed. And this is the same scene from Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy Kruger is doing the first victim. And remember, she was screaming as she was floating and whatnot. But in this case, there's no screaming at all. He's just in a deep sleep as he is floating on top of his bed. And there was a moment as he was floating, he started to flatline. So, yes, just like Nightmare on Elm Street, if Freddy kills you in a dream, you die for real. Yeah, this is James Bond meeting Nightmare on Elm Street. And the nightmare is telling Baku that he's going to turn his dream into a nightmare. And the monster not only is beating his ass, but also tormenting him. He is giving out, you're scared of reality. And we see all these people he met so far tormenting him. And he is trying to break Baku's spirit and make him go into despair. But Baku says he knows his own mind, and it's not up to him to turn his dream into a nightmare. And he is in control. And then all of a sudden we see walls popping up, a door popping up, blocking the monster, him, the door is in between the monster and Baku, and then the door opens, and then all of a sudden we see a pair of hands grabbing Baku and pushing him into this door, which leads to the next scene where Baku enters this wonderful looking office, and he meets Commander Zero, and he's all in shadow. We don't know exactly what he looks like, but he is, greeting, Baku, and tells him that this office is your subconscious mind, and gives him a briefcase that contains the driver. And his last parting words is, make your dream come true and good luck. And so Baku takes the driver, leaves the office, and he goes back to, our beloved Nim being all tied up, and the monster is once again waiting for him. And then we get to see the debut of Kamen Rider Zeztz. And the suit, plain and simple, I like it. It has a little bit of Revice, especially when it comes to the helmet. I look at it as it's a carbon copy of Revice, only without the pink and all that stuff. It's all green and red. I like the glow in the dark. And so he transforms into Zeztz, the Dream Warrior, and we get to see the awesome stunt work of the suit actors, demonstrating that, Baku can now fight again, and he is carrying on his mission, and Baku is testing his newfound strength with popping veins all around, and we get to see a rider kick. But this is not an ordinary rider kick. It's a 777 rider kick. And he destroys the nightmare, and we see, the nightmare turn into a beautiful butterfly, and then the darkness turns to light, indicating that the nightmare is over, and we go back to the dream. Nem is rescued. She is screaming, Agent 7's name. He turns around and wants to, say to Nem, I'm glad that you're safe, but she disappears, indicating that Baku is waking up from his dream. So the episode ends with Baku telling Minami that he had a nightmare. However, he did save the damsel in distress. And Minami is like, get a grip, dude. Come on, you and your dreams. And she leaves his room. We go to Tatsuya and Natsuka. And Tetsuya really insists that this is the work of a nightmare. If you don't believe me, you know where the door is. And Natsuka says, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm leaving. I don't believe this crap of what you say. And you feel bad for the detective because he knows things about these nightmares, and he is telling his new partner, which is not official, but we all know they're gonna have to work together, that these monsters are real. He encountered cases of familiar things that led to murder, kidnapping, and all this stuff, and yet no one believes him. And then Nox appears once again in the dream world. He knocks down a vase full of flowers, and there's no impact because we immediately cut into the real world and nothing happens. Instead, Tatsuya senses something happened. He doesn't know what it is, but he's like, what's going on? I feel like there's somebody here. And we get to the last scene. Baku gets up. He unbuttons his hospital shirt, and he sees a driver is still on his chest. And he's in shock, so in shock that he does that yip, yip. I find it to be funny, like yip, like ee. And this confirms to Baku that, wait a minute, what just happened in my dream is real? Like, how can this be? How do I still have this thing on my chest? Like, what's going on? And he's all touchy-feeling, and Tatsuya is witnessing all of this through a cracked door because he looked like he was about to go in and talk to Baku about what happened to him. And then it ends with, I think the driver or something that says, "Good morning, codename 7." And that's how the episode ends. Yeah, guys, this is James Bond meets Nightmare on Elm Street. It's great. We might even have a little bit of Inception there. But yeah, I mean, it's a great pilot episode. It shows a lot of promise. But I'm not going to count my cookies just yet, because just because you have a great pilot so far, it doesn't mean that that episodes that are coming up will be this good. I hope it will stay consistent, and towards the end where we meet up again, same time next year, I'll be singing to you guys the praises of Zeztz, saying that it's one of the best seasons ever, better than Gov, better than Geets, and maybe add it to my top 5, who knows. But right now, just like everybody else online, people are really digging Zeztz. And yeah, and the actors did great. The stunt people did great. Yuya, you did a great job so far. I'm still betting my soul that it could be Tetsuya getting killed off on your Christmas episode. But I don't know. It will change, of course, when we get new characters in and whatnot. So, I mean, an awesome start. The suit is great. I like how they decided to not go the traditional route of putting the driver around the waist. Instead, just put it across the chest. I thought it was very good. I like the suit. It's a lot of, revised, thing, because I've noticed, I saw something online that they ended up changing the colors from the traditional red and green to the pink, light blue, and the teeth. It just looks like another, revise. But yeah, the suit, like I said, looks cool. It looks simple, and he looks like a lizard. He looks like a lizard. He just needs a tail. That's all he needs. But Baku Zeztz is the Dream Warrior. I'm here for Freddy Kruger versus Zeztz. Oh, the good Freddy versus the bad Freddy. I'm here for it, guys. Give me your thoughts and opinions about the pilot episode. Before I conclude, I want to mention that the pilot episode is still airing on YouTube, and it's going to be, on repeat up until Monday. So I'm just letting you guys know, if you guys watched it, which I hope you guys did, and wants to rewatch the pilot episode again, it's on YouTube on repeat. So yeah, anything else? Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Give me your thoughts and opinions about the pilot episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you like the nods to Nightmare, to James Bond, to Build and Zeo? Because in Zeo, like I mentioned before, you know, the main character wants to be a king when he grows up, and then you have Baku, who wants to be a secret agent when he grows up. But now he has a job. He's a secret agent that defends people's dreams from nightmares. How will he fare against Freddy Kruger? I just wonder who's really going to be in control here of one's nightmare. Baku or Freddy? Alright. Someone is doing like a AI video of Freddy versus Zeztz. Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? If I missed anything, just mention in the comments below. Give me your thoughts and opinions about the characters, the suit, anything at all. I'm here for it. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of oblivion, or in this case, dream/nightmare. Johnny!